How you doing, guys? Today I'm going to tell you about 20 completely random memories. And go. I remember one time I was eating dinner and my mum said some sort of comment or something, and then I said the phrase, tighter than a nun's ass. What she heard from me was tighter than a mum's ass. So you could initially imagine her reaction. I wasn't very popular that night. I was in year 7 in the middle of science class and I had this really great idea to tie my shoelaces while sitting on a chair. The thing was that the chair is actually a little higher than an average chair would be. So in the middle of a lecture, all you hear is a big clang in the back of the room and there I am lying on the floor. But I think the funniest thing about that memory is when I said that I'll be right up as soon as I tie my shoelaces. That's dedication. During the Easter holidays, I actually had to look after my baby sister because we couldn't bring out a cot or anything for her to rest in. So this eventually led me to having her sleeping beside me on the side where the wall was so she wouldn't fall out of the bed. What I didn't know is that she sleep talks a lot and she likes to crawl around a lot in her sleep. Let me be the first to tell you that it wasn't the best thing to have your baby sister crawling all over you while you're trying to sleep beside her. Oh well, I guess gotta love her. Within the first couple of weeks that I got to know Amy Smith, I went over to her house because she literally lived up the road from me. But it was quite interesting one day. She was putting on makeup and I annoyed the absolute hell out of her. I can't remember how I did it, but I somehow annoyed the hell out of her. And she said one of the best analogies that I've ever heard. I'm gonna kick you with the hair straightener. I swear to God, I'm never going to let her live that down. I was probably about somewhere between 7 to 9 years old when this memory happened. I was just walking around the house because we have this I don't know, I wouldn't call it a park, but I'd call it like a kind of dirt strip. Anyways, on that dirt strip there's a bit of a drain which is in the shape of a weird pentagon-like shape. And one of the first times we tried to discover what was inside the pentagon drain thing, of course I know what it is now, we found a plastic bag. Inside that plastic bag was a dildo. Yeah, let's just say that Mum wasn't very pleased when we walked home with that. I'm serious, she made us scrub our hands because she thought we were contaminated with some sort of hand STD, I don't know. Back when I lived in my old house with my real dad, I saw him one day sharpening a pencil with a Stanley knife. And you know, what kind of kid doesn't want to be like that dad? So that day when he walked out, I walked back inside the room, picked it off the bedside table, grabbed what I assumed was a blunt pencil, and then I started to sharpen it. The only thing was my hand-to-eye coordination wasn't as good, and somehow I managed to, well, you can see for yourself. Yeah, not a very fun experience. I used to be scared of lightning. Don't judge me, it's flashy. When I was a baby, I used to swallow a snake's whole. No puns, please. The first time that I picked up a guitar, well, supposedly played a guitar, I remember that I used to see calluses starting to develop on my skin. Except back then I was in year 3 and I thought I was shedding my own skin. You see, I'm secretly a frill-necked lizard. 1 minute, oh, I'm not so bad. Next minute, blah! I insulted my girlfriend. I remember it now, it was about 3 months into our relationship and she knew that I had art class straight after lunch. And then after I'd finished playfully insulting her, she told me to go drown in paint. She's a meanie. The first time that I heard the term FFS, I thought it actually meant Don't look at me like that, I thought it was just something that people said to get their anger off their mind. Well, technically. I remember I hosted a New Year's party about 2 years back now. I selected something like 5, maybe 6 people, and things were actually a little bit boring, so we decided to spice things up a little bit. And so we decided to play beer pong with soft drinks. I remember it was Lillian and Amy versing myself and Caleb. Yeah, it was probably a really bad idea to play that game because shortly after, when I was walking Amy and Lily home, they started running up and down the street. Amy used to come around for jam sessions all the time, but eventually she moved. I was really paranoid about my weight at one time, and I remember the desperate measures of me trying to make myself look thinner. My conclusion? To tie a belt within this section of my body supposedly make me look thinner. You can imagine the kind of compliments I got from seeing a black belt chest high underneath a white shirt. Somebody had the idea to straighten my hair. The only thing was it was relatively short and I ended up burning my forehead. I went on a school excursion with some friends and around lunchtime we went to Flinders Street Station where we could choose whatever we wanted for lunch. You see, we all had different tastes in food, so what we did was we got dinner from 3 different restaurants and decided to eat it in McDonald's. This did not go down too well when the manager decided to come to our table and said that we shouldn't be eating here. So Caleb Morris turns around and he says to the manager, "Same difference?" This led eventually to us leaving the restaurant, but the funny thing was, Caleb had to go back inside the Macca's and get his school backpack, which he forgot. We wanted to throw a surprise party for my friend, and we had it all planned. We had a birthday cake, we were going to get him to meet us at the gardens. The entire day was going to go exceptionally well. That is until you add me into the equation. You see, I didn't actually say anything, but my response when Amy called me to get Brandon out of the house and pretty much go to the park, it led him to believe that we were throwing him a surprise party. So, in a way, he wasn't very surprised. But he still loved the thought. One of my greatest memories that I can always recap on is my journey to the Alpine School. It was a school for student leadership located in the Alpine region, and it was kind of designed to get students out of the country and turn them into social leaders. I ended up making about 40 or so friends there, and I still contact them to this day. That was like 2 years ago. And isn't this a segue? I decided that I wanted to recap all of the footage that I took, as well as interviewing the students I went with, and turn it into an Alpine mini-series. For the past couple of months, I've been doing a lot of work in order to get this project under control. And now that the backbone of the project is officially complete, we are now ready to start shooting. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'm RAJ, and this is one video that I approve. If you guys have any recommendations of what kind of videos you like to see next, then don't be afraid to post them down in the comments below or on my Facebook page. Thanks for watching today's episode, guys. I'll see you next week. And let's end it with a high five, why not? And 1, 2, 3. For the car...